A staggering 200 million women and girls in Africa, Asia and the Middle East bear the gruesome physical and emotional scars of female genital mutilation, an outdated and unspeakably horrendous practice whose prevalence in Kenya presently starts at 27% for women aged between 15 to 49 years. In Kenya, some of the communities who practice FGM openly are Somalis, and while many say that FGM is a religious activity, others believe that it is culture that has no basis in religion.
Trying to demystify why most people confuse FGM and Islam, the hadiths that say FGM is right, which are da'if, or they were passed by someone who, da'if means they are very weak, or hadith that were passed by someone who was known to be a liar. So most people rely on those things. So that is now the time I came to realize this thing is wrong.
45 kilometers away from Garissa town is a hot and dry rural village named Kamude in Fafi sub-county. Here we meet Maka Kasim, a resident and former midwife who practiced FGM but later on abandoned the vice after witnessing firsthand the harrowing effect to the victims.
I'm a survivor of FGM. Isitoshe, nilikuwa nasaidia wamama kushika wasichana wakati walikuwa wanatahirishi. Mimi mwenyewe nimejaribu kupractice. Wasichana alibleed. Kama mimi mwenyewe nimestuka.
She's now running Kamude Rescue Center, a safe house that hosts girls who are forced to undergo the cut to get married.
Nilikuwa nasaidia wamama.
Listening to her story, one could tell that her push to win the heart of fellow women to abandon the vice has not been a walk in the park.
Tunawaleta hapo kwa shule pia, huwa tunafanya follow up on girls.
Mbele msichana unasumbua sana, unatahiri tena kabla hajafika mwaka 20 mwaka 15 umeolewa unapata bana.
Another victim is Benazir Mohammed, who has witnessed firsthand the impact of FGM on girls' health. This saw her to opt being a crusader against FGM in her community.
Movement was as minimal as possible. You're not supposed to move. If you're moving, it would be like few steps. Consumption of food, you are not supposed to consume oily food. It was milk and rice, something that would not, as people think, would not affect what was cut and how the whole surgery was happening.
Men have not also been left behind in the journey of fighting the outlawed practice that has given sleepless nights to women and girls in the community.
It's an issue that is dehumanizing the girl. It's an issue that actually that women say they do it for men, but in actual sense it has no relationship with men.
Joseph Maina, a project manager for an NGO that fights for the rights of girls and women, tells us some of the best ways of fighting the vice, among them keeping the woman busy.
We have a program whereby we develop and introduce to them different skills to earn a living outside that.
Other than the ensuing complications, FGM has numerous effects in girls and women, including complications at birth, infections, excessive bleeding, delayed or incomplete healing. It may also cause damage to the adjacent organs that later on lead to urinary tract infections. Also leads to death in some cases, something that Salah and Benazir knows all too well.
Our Somali community, they do it to the bitter and worst type of cut, whereby they remove every part of the organ, sew it together, and stitch it together until where the girl comes to a situation when she cannot even properly urinate, or even when she reaches her puberty, the menstrual cycle becomes difficult.
With Kenya having passed a law prohibiting FGM in 2011 that imposes tough penalties on the perpetrators and those abetting the vice, village-to-village sensitization of the communities on the health implication of FGM, the fight against the cat is winning day by day in northern part of Kenya. Yusuf Mahatabdi, K24, Garissa.